This is the year 2025, and there are lots of new building trends that are really making waves in Ghana. For example, did you know that drones seem to be the next big thing when it comes to construction in Ghana? Now, you probably will be wondering, how are drones going to play any role in your building project? In this video, we are going to look at some of the top trending stuff that we have researched based on the data that we are sitting on at Africa Building Hub, where we get to interact with developers. We also get to interact with people who are building their own houses, people looking to buy houses, and people looking to rent houses. Now, we are not just going to talk about drones. We are going to talk about some of the modern trends in 2025, where the market is shifting to, especially when it comes to things like sustainability, price, and all. Question of the day from one of our subscribers, and this subscriber is on TikTok. Now, this subscriber asked this question that I want you to start commenting what your thoughts are, and I'm going to read the comment. The comment says, "Good evening. I want to start a block factory business. May I know the advantages and the disadvantages, please?" So this person is also a lady, and she says she wants to start a block factory business. She wants to know the advantages and the disadvantages, and she just wants our advice. So if you by chance have experience when it comes to starting a block factory business or any building material business in Ghana, I want you to comment how the experience has been. Was it smooth sailing? Was it a bit difficult? Was it challenging? What were the challenges that you had to overcome? Comment below and let me know. And also let me know, would you ever consider starting a block factory business, or it's something you are going to shy away from? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? And again, as usual, comment where you are watching from, which country, which city are you building in Ghana? What are some of the trends that you wish would come to Ghana when it comes to building? Now, with that said, let's look at the very first trend of the day that we curated. So the first trend is epoxy flooring. Now, epoxy flooring is one of the things I get asked almost every week. What are my thoughts on epoxy flooring? And as you can see on your screen, this is someone who is very skilled at doing the epoxy floor. Now, this is like an alternative to the kind of traditional tiles that we are all used to. And look at the final product. It looks really good. It looks very easy to polish, and you can make so many kinds of designs out of it. Now, I want you to comment, is epoxy flooring something that you would consider doing for your own building project, or you prefer the old style of doing tiles, or maybe you even prefer terrazzo? Let me know. So epoxy flooring, is it something? Have you tried it? What has your experience been? Was it positive or negative? For me, it's not something that I have done personally, and so I can't really comment much on it. I have worked with epoxy, but for different use cases. You know, you can mix epoxy kind of like as a glue, and it's a very strong adhesive. It produces a lot of heat in the process, and if you are looking for things that can really bind, they recommend epoxy. So that is how I have used it. But in terms of the flooring aspect, not yet. So is there anyone who has used epoxy flooring? Anything that people come and ask me, what are your thoughts? Like I said, I keep getting this in the DMs, even on our comment section. What do you think about epoxy floor? Anytime we do a video on tiles, people come and say, what are your thoughts on epoxy floor? And I say, it's not something, one, I've used personally, and two, in Ghana, within the Ghana context, it's not something that has passed the test of multiple generations. It does not mean that the product itself is bad or the solution will not work. It just means we don't have enough data spanning multiple generations. As you can see, it looks like you can do a lot of designs with it, and from what I'm hearing, it's kind of low cost, very, very low cost, as opposed to the tiles, because in Ghana, when it comes to the cost of tiles, it's pretty expensive. We recently helped one of our subscribers to, you know, import tiles from China, and just the cost of clearing the tiles from the pot was so expensive, really, really expensive. So many people are looking at some alternatives, and people are considering epoxy flooring. Again, if you are joining this Africa Building Hub, we are building a community of people who want to build, buy, rent in Ghana. We believe that whatever we are sharing is applicable to any country in Africa. And so if you like this kind of content, please, by all means, like and share this live, like and subscribe also, because it tells YouTube that the content that we are creating is very good and amazing content and is going to help. And today the topic that we are looking at is alternatives when it comes to building and some of the latest trends that we have now. And the first one we looked at was epoxy flooring as opposed to the traditional tiles. And we also mentioned that terrazzo is also very popular in the past. And you know, when you travel to Europe, US, and other countries like that, they even have wooden floors and stuff like that. But Ghana, we want to build once and build it properly, and that's why many people have adopted the ceramic tile, Spanish, Italian, and even the locally made tile. So now this is a big one. Guess what? What you are seeing on your screen currently is a foldable house. So this is not a typical house that you are used to. This could be like an Airbnb from the setting that you are looking at, but it is a completely foldable house that when they ship it, I've seen some people beginning to ship some into Ghana. You unpack it and then you just do your finishing with your furniture, your air conditioners, your tiling and stuff like that. But the base house is what you are seeing on your screen, and you can just unpack it and you can get 2 rooms or 1 room or 3 rooms. There are some which are like 72 meters square. There are different sizes, and this seems to be something that is coming up very strongly. Prefabricated houses are becoming very popular, and I've seen some Ghanaian real estate developers beginning to ship some into Ghana. Now the question is, will it stand the test of time? So this is another video showcasing some of the very unique use cases. So you can use this like in diverse kinds of scenarios. You could just buy your plot of land. You can see 36 square meters, 72 square meters, and then have all your tiling, your plumbing, your electricals done in it, and you can move it. So if you become like a nomad, you don't live at one place, you can be moving from place to place. You get some trailer to come pack your things, move it, etc. I think it's a really interesting concept. It's good, but you shouldn't make it your main home. What you should rather do is like an addition to your existing space. So if you want to have maybe an office in your house, or you want to do maybe some small boys quarters or something that you can start and maybe even house your workers in like that. And that reminds me, so my good friend Kofi Anku, who has built or put up Pokwasi Heights, right, another real estate properties in Ghana, he's come up with this innovative solution, but his is made of shipping containers. And with the shipping containers, he's done it purely for the workers, so that if you want your building projects to go really quickly, like those who are working on the commercial kind of building project, there are bunk beds and everything within the shipping container that the masons, everybody, the carpenters, everybody can sleep in, right? And it helps such that they don't need to go home and come and you'll be having all those kind of excuses and things. So I think that is a kind of typical use case for the topic of the day that we are looking at: foldable houses or movable houses or miniature houses, either from shipping containers or from this kind of material that we are seeing. You can use it for mobile libraries. If it could be used for mobile libraries, it could also be used for mobile schools as well, right? On that topic, right, I want us to look at the person who said they've shipped some to Ghana, and let's read some of the comments that people are saying. Mailbank says, first of all, now this is the comment I'm reading, you need to assess the type of materials used to manufacture them and compare it to our climatic conditions, whether they took that into consideration. So he is concerned about the climate. And secondly, why import it through Ghana port to pay almost $9,000 as duty when Togo is at the corner, where you can bring it in as building materials through a flower border at a cheaper rate? Technically, if it is fit for purpose, you shouldn't spend more than $10,000 from China to your land for the 2-bedroom. And this is a really interesting point that he's made. So he is considering the material materials. He's also considering the cost of importation that you are going to pay. And then someone also said, my number one concern is the type of material being used to construct it. Now somebody says, wow, affordable house. Now you can travel with your house once you get a land. Interesting. Then someone also says, this business will do so well in Ghana. And again, I want us to be looking at some of these things from different perspectives. Some of us are people who are building houses, but some of us are also businessmen. And as a businessman, will this appeal to you? Is this this something you would want to go into? Because if there's a trend and you see people moving in that direction, maybe you also need to see if it's a worthy investment. Though the house seems to be easy to set up, right? It's not a building project that's going to take you like maybe 4 to 6 months to complete. This one, the moment it comes, you can set it up maybe in 2 weeks, 1 month. But there are additional hidden costs that nobody is talking about. That is something which is really important that we need to take note of. So for example, in what people were saying, we need to do like the electricals, we need to do the plumbing, we need to do the air conditioning, we need to do like a platform to have it, and even the cost of moving it around and all that are things that we haven't really considered. Crane and all that. So you can see them in Ghana trying to move the thing. Like there's a lot of hidden costs that we need to factor in before you decide to go in for it, because $20,000 is not cheap. That's like what? About 320,000 Ghana cedis today. And then after that 320,000, you probably need about maybe an extra 50 to 100,000 to get all the things in it to make it livable. And so if you are going to make it livable, then it means that in the end you are paying maybe 450,000 cedis just, or 500,000 cedis maybe, to have it, whatever it is that you are doing it with. You will probably end up at the same place but have a stronger, more durable house, or you could even make some saving. Third point for today, which is the third trend, and this again has to do with flooring. It looks like flooring is a very big deal for most people because tiles are so expensive. Like tiles is very, very expensive, and the more premium the kind of design you want and all that, the more expensive it's going to be. So many people are looking for alternatives to tiles, and they are considering the epoxy flooring. They are also considering this particular one, which we are seeing on the screen currently. So this is concrete. It is concrete, but it's not the concrete that you are thinking of, that they are using the big chippings and all that. This is micro concrete flooring system, and as you can see on your screen, like it looks really, really good. It looks so good. It looks so clean and so seamless. Is this something again that you would consider having in your own building project, or this is a no for you, or because you've never seen anybody doing some in Ghana, you would not do? Now, to the people who are watching the live and the replay, is this something you've ever done? Are you like a contractor? Is this something you've done on anybody's project? Or are you a builder? Is this something that your own project you've done on? So again, if you are into epoxy flooring, please, you can just get in touch with us. Now, again, we are looking at top trends of 2025, and this is micro concrete flooring, and it looks so clean. This vibe works perfectly for hotels, Airbnbs and stuff like that. I really like how beautiful, how minimalistic it is instead of the traditional tiles. Now let's read what it says here. It says, love the seamless joints free look but want an alternative to traditional concrete? Micro concrete is for you. Choose from customizable textures and colors to fit your style. Perfect for resurfacing existing floors and substrates. Durable, easy to maintain and built to last. And now let's read some of the comments. Someone says, we Indians had it a long time ago. Oh wow. And then they are fighting there. So it looks like this technology has been there in India for a while, but even in Ghana, it's not there. Another Indian came and said, Indian households have had it since ages. Wow. So somebody is asking, does it have to be polished? So let's see what the response was. It says, a polished concrete floor is super durable and looks awesome. A polished concrete floor is super durable and looks awesome. Someone says, oh, I have a concrete floor and everywhere cracked. Any pro advices here? So again, this is one of the reasons why we are going into the comments to pick real life feedback from people who are using it, and then we can all learn from it, right? This person says he has this thing there, but it cracks a lot. And then someone is saying, is it this kind of product that caused your crack? And again, someone is saying you are not the only one. So again, you see, if you don't do a lot of research and you see it and say, oh, it is cheaper than Thailand, so let me just go ahead with this, you may end up having some of these things. And that's why we also want to hear from you guys who probably have tried this. How many years did it work for you before I started cracking? So someone says concrete is going to crack regardless of what precautions or fixes you do. Really, the only thing that you can do is cut joints in the concrete in hopes that the concrete will crack in the joint. So is there like an expert here who agrees that concrete is always going to crack? Because concrete, I believe if you cure it properly, it shouldn't crack. So someone says, I haven't tried it, but I'd suggest fiberglass mesh and then micro cement on top. Then someone says you should leave expansion joints or control joints thermal expansion. Okay, someone also says proper ratio of hardness needs to be added with the mixture. So it looks like though it is flooring, whatever lessons that or whatever tips that today you use for your typical concrete works, you need to apply the same. If it is curing is important. If it is mixed ratios, it is important. If it's the type of water, it is important. Even if it is the grade of cement and the quality of cement, it is important. The type of sand you are using and all those things are important. So I'm going to continue reading the comments on that. But remember that the question of the day. The question of the day is from our subscriber on TikTok who says, good evening, I want to start a block factory business. May I know the advantages and disadvantages? I asked her some follow-up questions and then I told her that for me, I would not discourage her, but she would need someone to be trustworthy to manage it if she is not going to manage it herself. Because in Ghana, if you are doing business and you are not really invested in the business yourself, it's going to be difficult. And again, I also told her that the location is going to be key and the competition around. If there are already established businesses that have, made their names within that location, then it's going to be increased competition and she needs to find a way to have like a unique selling proposition where maybe she prices at a cheaper price. Now she came back and said, my sister's husband, right? So in response to me saying she needs to get someone who is trustworthy, she said, my sister's husband, I want him to manage it, but I don't know him very well. But I believe he's a good person because he respects me a lot. You see, one thing that I've come to learn from doing business in Ghana and interviewing a lot of business people is that trust, but always verify. Don't just leave anything to people just because you think that this person is a good person or whatever. So you just want to, trust the person. No, it doesn't matter if it's your sister's husband. People's parents, people's siblings and things have messed them up big time in Ghana. People send money from the diaspora that somebody should build for them and they end up squandering all the money. We've all heard these kind of horror stories. Don't just trust somebody and say that the person is your sister's husband, so you trust the person. It's a recipe for disaster. Now, you don't really know the person. Is the person skilled in some of the minimum things? Having basic understanding of finance, accounting, like how to keep money and all those things is really key, because this is like a managing director role. This is a manager's role. The person needs to be time conscious. The person needs to have leadership qualities. The person needs to be able to market and sell the blocks. The person needs to have very good sales skills, like proper skills of if somebody comes and wants to buy, negotiation and all those things. Maybe you can even say, oh, if you buy 2,000 blocks, I'll give you 1 bag of cement for free. Like, the person needs to have proper business acumen. And yes, idea, just saying, oh, this person is good, this person is good, this person is trustworthy, it's not going to be enough for the block factory to survive, even if there's no other block factory. Now, she continued to say something very interesting. She says, the location is a village, Irebi Oda in Kwanta of Wasi Road. I don't know if you know that, which I don't, but she says, my mom is in one of them, and she brought the idea because now the villagers are all buying land and building with blocks. The villagers are all buying land and building with blocks. So for her, she thinks that there's opportunity. Now with that, let's also move to the last but one trend of 2025. So what we've observed is that drones are going to become really big in the year 2025. Drones are going to become very important for like construction survey and all these things, like even land plotting and mapping and all these things, really going to become game changers. So there are people that are going to lose their jobs essentially because there are site inspectors that when there are these kind of commercial properties going on, they kind of need to go and do all these kind of inspections today. But with the drone, somebody can just sit somewhere, fly the drone there, take high quality pictures, is able to see whether the concrete is curing properly, whether the things are being done properly and all that. Get real-time data, and data is the new gold, right? So get real-time data for them to be able to make corrections in real time, and I'm really excited about it. Even for us at Africa Building Hub, we've had clients contact us. They want us to go to sites, take drone footage of what's going on, look at the neighborhood and all that, and people want to kind of like go and see whether encroachers are on their land and stuff like that. So they go fly the drone and all that, gives them a good view of what's happening in the area. So drone footage is going to become really, really important. Now, apart from drone footage where you come and contract us or a drone pilot to come and do anything like this for you, what we also see trending now, which is a game changer, is the solar camera. These solar cameras by Africa Africa Building Hub. Ours is a dual solar camera, waterproof, has all the things that you need: night vision, infrared, motion sensor. You can control it from your mobile phone and all that. We introduced this to the Africa Building Hub community last year, 2024, and we've had a lot of families, a lot of builders who have used it, and the testimonies that are coming are amazing. People say it's game changers, because previously they needed to get like their family members to come and go and visit the site and give them reports at the guys on site. They don't know what's happening in real time, but now they don't need all that. With just this and a SIM card, they can be watching from Netherlands, US, UK, and we even had a company come and buy 10 recently. So what they do is they are into like filling stations. So they have different filling stations in different parts of the country. They came and they purchased 10 for their filling stations. Remote sites where you will not have Wi-Fi connectivity, and they want to have uninterrupted supply, because the traditional CCTVs rely on ECG power, but when the light goes off, the camera is also off. And so when people want to do nefarious things, they typically tend to switch off the light, cut the lines and all that. But this is powered by solar, has a very big battery, and people are using it. It's transforming lives. What are some of the other trends that you have observed for the year? You share your thoughts. If you use these kind of solar cameras also, you can share what your experience has been, and then we'll get ready to wrap up the video in the next 3 minutes. So the solar camera uses an app. So you download the companion app. And so when you download the app on your phone, from your phone you can see the footage in real time. And apart from seeing the footage in real time, you would also be able to control the cameras from anywhere in the world. So you just download the app. There's a QR code. You scan it. Once you purchase, right, you can send us an email. Let me share our email link for you. So once you purchase it, you would be able to connect to the camera. And then, so this is our email. If you want to purchase some, just send us an email, and then would assist you with the rest of it. Share with as many people as possible. Until we meet again next week, we say have a very blessed and fruitful week. God bless you. May all that you touch to do be blessed. May your building project be blessed. And we'll see you, God willing, same time next week. Thanks, baby. Oh, thanks, Richard. Thanks to the ABH team. The email address is abh@abhcollabs.com. abh@abhcollabs.com, or you can WhatsApp 055 322 1885 055 322 1885. And if you are not on our WhatsApp community and you want to join our WhatsApp community, we are leaving this on the screen, so you can just scan the QR code on the YouTube, scan it, and you'll be able to join the WhatsApp community. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this show. Stay blessed.